What's up, YouTube? Sorry, I'm probably slightly uncomfortably close here. Let me maybe lower this down a bit. So you notice I was absent from my channel for a couple days. I know I'm kind of off and on with the work that I do at times, and important as it is, I'm tired. I'm really just tired. And it's become kind of a bit of a chore to get everything together as of late, as well as other areas of my art and other areas of my art that I've been neglecting are starting to take off, and I really am just kind of at the point to where I'm not quitting. I'm not trying to leave at all, really. It's just something that's rolling around my head. Actually, through YouTube, I found somebody who's willing to help me with the models that I have for a project that I had started way back in 2007. It's a 3D modeling to video game conversion. And through these conversions of my models, hopefully I'll have base models that I could then convert to eventually other games, since while I love GTA, part of what I kept thinking when I was playing games like Far Cry 3 was, this on some levels is what I would want in a Mad Max game. I would want vehicles that I could kind of find. Of course, with me and my creativity, I would want to create a game where you could create your own vehicle, way beyond the lukewarm kind of customizations you could do with, say, Mod Nation Racers. I mean, Mod Nation's a good start. It's a good template for what one should do, but it sold itself short, and instead of addressing its critics, it basically made certain accoutrements for people who were less than skilled, which I thought was rather insulting, and just basically shoved out these things, trying to not admit guilt and just say, well, for those who might be struggling with our unbalanced AI, amongst other issues with Mod Nation, that they didn't care to want to address, they decided that, oh, well, I guess enough people are causing a bellyache that we'll get off our lazy butts and try and do something, while not admitting that we screwed the pooch on the original game. This is why I both love and hate Mod Nation Racers. I mean, I've gotten a lot of creativity out of it. I respect people who love the less is more mentality with it, but they really squandered so many opportunities. And then to give us character carts, but not let us actually use the character cart parts. Like, I don't care if the original character cart was not remixable. I didn't buy it for the fucking character cart, pardon the language. I bought it because I liked the parts that were there, that were on display. Only, oh no, we can't let you actually use those parts because that would allow you more creative freedom. And we can't have that in a creative game. Perish the thought, Octavius. But I might start paring things down because, again, I only have a few more months until school. And once school hits, I'm sorry, boys and girls of all ages and worlds, I can't do any of my channels, not even my comedy channel. And I know I'm going to want to. This is why I can never fully call quits until I marry my girl, because the fact is, I always want to turn on a cam. I always want to bring something to somebody's attention, but I also want my channel to evolve. I don't want to just be a channel about bitching, for lack of a better term. I want it to be one where I propose more solutions and try to give more time to things that matter. Um, well, I mean, not that the things I'm talking about don't matter. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm listening to a lot of voices that I look up to, and they're saying how YouTube's a lot of complaints, it's not a lot of solutions, and it's hard for me not it's hard for me to have a disagreement with that. They're right. But at the same time, it's like I then start to remember about the psychology of overconfidence in one's own knowledge, overconfidence in one's own information. This is where you get anti-vaccination people. This is where you get conspiratorial people. This is where you get anti-GMOs. But you've seen in recent times where some of the staunchest founders of GMOs realized, oh, wait, there's actually science behind this. Oops. And some of them have changed their minds. And I would like to think that in few years' time, some of my videos, because I try to scientifically base as much of this as I possibly can with links, would get some people to maybe reconsider their direction in life and maybe change it. Maybe change it towards the better, not just for themselves, but for everybody else involved. Because you think my transformation was just so easy for me to make from where I was in my own comfortable little world under a rock of depression that I could have stayed under, and that would have been my normal. That would have been my comfort level. But I didn't. I stepped out into the bigger world and I realized, you know what? It's because people say that I don't have a voice that is exactly the reason why I have a voice. That's not to say that any of my dissenters who have constructive criticism aren't correct. In fact, I've corrected myself when people have correctly shown me where I was wrong. But when the majority is people who just don't like me and don't want to listen simply because they don't like me, not because they don't like what I'm saying, they just don't like me. I'm not classically handsome to them. Although I like my look, so screw you. But whatever. Um, but anyway, the point is, you know, 3D modeling takes up a lot of time. Oh, and I'll try to post a link down to it in the underbar as well. I found one of my old studios that I used to work at for a while. Apparently they're still going strong with their MMO, and I would say more about their MMO because I think, to be honest with you, if there's any kind of contender against WoW, these people have it. But I can't. Even though I'm not working for them, I'm not technically contractually obligated. The fact that I'm still mentioning a still live studio, because I thought they went under. Well, they didn't, and I'm glad they didn't because they're hard workers. They're good guys. It was a place called Ugly Wart Studio, and I was working for a while on said MMO, but I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the talent after a while to truly devote myself in the way that they wanted. And just the way that things were structured at that time was also not conducive. I was being told to do one thing. I did that one thing. But apparently that one thing was somehow completely wrong, even though it conformed to exactly what they told me to do. But again, that was at that time. Most of the guys working, though, were absolutely stand-up people, including the guy who recruited me originally. And I wish I could contact them, but it's been so long I don't think most of them would recall me. But I'm already busy with my own stuff. But it was refreshing to find this software house is still in operation. But yeah, so I've got somebody here on YouTube who's able to put my models in game, and then I got to find a skinner for my 3D models. In fact, if you guys want to see what I'm working on right now, link to my photo bucket is down in the underbar, and I'm constantly updating it. I'm going to probably try to get a page up on mod database because this is a thing that is happening, and hopefully we can get somebody who works with maps within Grand Theft Auto to help us to create and implement some of the scenery I've already made into the game. But myself, I'd just be happy if these machines make it in game. Um, but as far as my birthday went, my car died. I just got it inspected. Everything passed. Everything was fine. But after the inspection, things weren't working so well. And I kind of have my suspicions, but I'm not going to say anything without any knowledge. But she goes and dies on my birthday, which sucked. But I had a special time with my girlfriend, and she did something special with her look, and I think it looks incredible. And she makes me still this far out. She makes me happier than I ever imagined possible. And I do the same for her. And if anything's going to make me believe in things like soulmates, at least, she's it. I mean, just there's no getting around it. We're so connected in a way that I'm sure could scientifically be explained, but this is one of the few cases where I simply don't care. We just work. There's chemistry there. We've known each other before getting involved, which of course helps, and it was more of a blindsiding. It was a feeling inside of me, and I'm not going to say it's a psychic feeling, just a feeling like I should speak the truth that I've been holding back from our friendship, because I felt she needed to hear it, and indeed she did. And from that grew this phenomenal relationship where we're both looking at each other going, where have you been all this time? I mean, we knew each other, but where have you been? And so, I mean, subsequently, things have been building with her, and there's no doubt this is the woman I want to marry. She is the woman with which I wear a ring, although I need to get it all polished up here. I'll probably do the whole baking soda scientific thing with my son and show him how he can use baking soda to clean sterling silver. So, I mean, at this point, there's so much that's involved. I know you guys haven't demanded all of this, the lighting, the camera positioning, the suit, but this felt like the natural progression of my channel, and to continue to give you quality work, it's a bit much to balance with things that I have to do in a timely fashion. If I go forward with the mod database, there's penalties to me if I don't continue to deliver. And I don't want to drop the ball on this one. Last time I lost most of my team to World of Warcraft, which pissed me off. And it killed the project, because when it's down to me, it becomes hard. But right now, the modeling is down to me. But that's not entirely a bad thing, because I'm getting rather incredible results. So, link to my photo buckets down in the underbar to my works. If you are interested in skinning, I work with 3D Studio Max, but I can port it to a lot of different formats. And in fact, our tech person, the guy who's going to get the vehicles in game, probably could get you any file format from whatever program he uses, if you could help texture, because I cannot texture to save my life. If I could, half this mod would be finished as it is, but I can't, and I don't, so I can't. And links down to or at least mentions of, as well as the video that has the actual as early as like what 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago, work on the MMO for the studio I used to work with. For those of you who constantly ask, hey, Octavius, what studios did you ever work at? Since I always try to throw out my gamer cred when I try to talk about the industry and try to say, hey, I've been in and out of the industry, off and on. This is what I've seen, and this is what I've seen progress for the worst, and this is why I disagree with the gaming industry where it's heading. But I digress. Anyways, YouTube, yeah.